Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Bleeding Crypto's Market Update. Today is Thursday, October 3rd, 9:35 a.m. local time. I hope you're having a good day, morning, or afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. So, let me start off by giving my disclaimer to protect myself legally. I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only, to be used with your fantasy paper trading. No money should be used with the information that I provide you. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and take a look at the market. So the probability is now shifting that we're going to go down to my $51,500 target, and we're going to hit the 5 liquidity pockets that I have on the way down. That my system shows. That again, I'm not sharing with you guys, but I am sharing my final target of 51,500 up to as low as, better said, 48,700-ish. And the only reason I say that amount is because there is a possibility that we may sweep the low of 49,000. A sweep is usually $200 to $400, give or take. And again, that's a possibility. But my 51 target 500 is a pretty concrete number that bare minimum we should hit. But let me show you what's going to basically put the nail in the coffin for that price. For right now, it stands at about a 40% chance, and I'm going to explain to you why a 40%. Let me go ahead and just open up the, let me go to the lower time frames. I think lower time frames, this time we're going to go to the lower time frames because it really shows you a good perspective why. This is the bottom of the horizontal channel. Remember how well we were consolidating here when I was giving you guys the market update a couple of days ago? Look how beautiful it consolidated here. We pushed up, we put a double top, an M pattern, came down again, held this very well. Look, everything was looking great. Then we started to head up, and then this is where things started to get started taking a turn for the worst. We started breaking below and closing below the channel. The bulls try to step up, try to save it, and you can see the war that was going on here between the bulls and the bears. They try to push up. We couldn't even get close to the 50 EMA like we did here on that rejection. Now we're consolidating and rejecting candle after candle after candle after candle. This here is the precursor sign that you need to pay attention to. This here now shifts the probability to 40% that we're going to go down to 51,500. The moment we close below this purple line and we repeat this pattern, it is a 90% probability that we're finally going to go down to 51,500 and close up all the objectives on the way down. And like I mentioned before, possibly sweep that low and then start heading up for those higher targets. I am not looking for anything lower than that unless we close below 49,000 and we start consolidating like we're doing here. Below 49,000, then things will shift. But for right now, that's way too ahead of ourselves, especially when we're over here. Especially when there's still there's only a 40% chance that we're going to go there. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that possibility once we start rejecting and consolidating underneath the purple line, which from the looks of it may happen today, maybe into tomorrow. The only chance that the bulls are going to have at this point is, doesn't look like it will, but there's always that chance, and we always have to have two perspectives of what's going on. Let me give you my bull perspective. Let me go to the 4-hour time frame, and let me just show you this pattern here. This little pattern here, the way we're consolidating in a slope fashion, this diagonal type of channel, I've seen this play out both ways. It can drop off for the next leg, and I have seen it push higher. However, what I like to look at is the indicators to give me a better probability factor. And when I look at the daily time frame and I look at this MACD, this here is what gives me a more of a short-term bear bias that we're going to go down, that we're going to break through that purple line today or tomorrow at the latest, and we're going to start heading down to that $51,500 probably towards the weekend. Is this MACD here on the daily time frame? This carries a lot of weight. Then when you look at the CMF, it's now negative territory. So there's nothing bullish on these higher time frames that are showing us any type of strength that we may have a possible push to the upside. It looks more like we're going to be going down. Of course, it's not going to happen in our time frame when we want it to happen, but it's shifting the probability. Now, for those who don't understand English very well, I would suggest you use a Google Translator so that, I don't know in your country what the word probability means. I don't know how to interpret it, so it's better if you use Google Translator. In America, probability is another word. It's a fancy word for saying possible. And if possible is still too high in your vocabulary in your country, think of a maybe. That might be a little smaller word for you to understand. So there is maybe we may go to the upside, and maybe we may go to the downside. That's kind of a good basis, a good foundation for the word probability or possibility. Now, in a trading world, anything is possible, but we like to use probability because that gives it a certain odds. So right now, there's still a 60% chance that we go higher, which means that we have more faith in the on some of these lower time frame, like the 4-hour time frame. This little pattern here, I got about a 40%, a 60% chance, 60% chance that we go up to the 200-day moving average. That's it. I'm just giving it up to that. I don't know if we're going to go higher. I don't know if we're going to go lower. However, once we break below this purple line, it is a 90% chance that we're going to 51,500. But when I look at this here on the higher time frames, it starts to shift it even higher that we're going to go down. But everything right now is predicated on only one thing, this purple line. That's it. No matter what the probabilities are, no matter what the percentage is here, this is the do or die line. That's what I've been calling it, the do or die line on all the posts that I've been making. And if you don't believe me, you don't have to. Just watch it. Watch what happens when we close below here. You can long it if you want. And the fact of the matter is this, we could close here and go up. Nothing that says it. The probability on how I am playing it is that we're going to go down. So I'm going to play it to the downside. What would invalidate that? If we consolidate below here or we start dropping and we regain it, we get above it, we close, we back test, we start moving higher, that negates the downward move. Just like this move here could get negated by not closing below here. The downward that I'm talking about could be invalidated by not closing below here, staying above here, and then moving up. There's a plan for both ways. And you have to have a certain indicator on your chart. For me, it's going to be this purple line because for the reasons that I've explained for the past, 2 months and how strong this is. And I've been showing you 6 months worth of data on how strong it is when it's support and when it's resistance. So when it breaks below it, it's game over because it's happened for the past 6 months. The same way that I told you guys that when we hit here, I've got 6 months of data showing you that every single time we hit here, we're going to drop. And I even got on board with you guys here that we're going to go higher. And yet, my data didn't lie. My data wasn't wrong. My data has been 100% correct on this channel. And the fact that I've been telling you guys that every single time that we hit the top of the channel, we will dump. Nothing changed. We dumped right here. With all the people that had a block telling me that I was crazy, here we are. Here we are. So with the same exact confidence, the same data that I have, that I was able to call this way over here, that when we get to here, we're going to dump. And don't believe me. Okay, do not believe me. Go to my timeline and go to September 17th or go to September 18th or September 19th, any one of those, and just watch the video. Put it on 1.5 or 2.x speed and just listen. See if I'm full of shit. See if by any of those videos I said that we were not going to break, that we're not going to reject from here. Now you get to see. Now with that same exact confidence, with that same exact probability, is how I'm telling you that when we close below here and we start to consolidate and we don't reclaim that quickly, we're going to go down to 51,000, which is right down in here, 51,500 with a possible sweep of the lows of 49. So we'll do a what I call a signature move. Basically, anybody who puts stops here, they're going to run those. They're going to run those. So there's a possibility of that, but there's a 90% probability that 51,500 will get hit. So I've repeated it many times very clearly. So the reason I'm doing that is so when the people who want to get blocked, all you have to do is just make a smart ass comment. Just make a smart ass comment and watch how I'll block you just like that. And you no longer get to have the videos showing you the accuracy that I've been showing you for months now. So go ahead and make those comments, because I'm telling you that it's not my bias. It's not what I think or what I feel. It's whatever the market confirms for me. So the market right now is confirming that it can no longer get above the channel. And it didn't do that right away. Look at the weakening. Look at the strength that it initially showed. Show the strength again, and then you start seeing that weakness. Start seeing that, and then again, and now nothing but weakness. Now it's settled down here. Now the probability is this is the next area of settling before going down. So you could go ahead and take it however you want, and that's fine. And if we do have that push to the upside, if a Hail Mary comes in and we get to push to the upside, then I'm going to be looking for this as the top of that move. There's going to be 63,600. When we hit here, you're going to look, this is what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen when we hit the underside. Is it going to break up? I don't know. That's going to be completely and entirely up to the bulls and the bears to fight that out. And then I'm going to be sitting behind the screen watching what that outcome is with you. How I play this, this is an automatic 100% short. I will have a short limit order right here. No doubt about it. No question. No maybe. A 100%. You cannot fail short. Why? Because 95% we're going to reject. And in the event, just in the event that a Hail Mary comes in, they answer your prayers and we do break above it, I don't worry about it. Because I know with a 99% certainty that we'll come back down here and we will back test that. And depending on how well that back test holds, I will be able to exit that trade with little to no loss at all. So that's why areas like this, they're high conviction. There's you bet the fucking farm below here that we're going to go down, because if I bet the fucking farm and it doesn't go down and it goes up, I know with a 99.9% probability that we're going to come back and we're going to tag that line and I'll be able to exit my trade. Every single trade you take, you're stepping in front of risk. It's a matter of, are you trained enough to understand where that risk is where the minimal risk is at whatever junction you choose from your system in your chart. And in this chart right here that I'm looking at, this junction, and this junction are high probability because of the way the price action is not only behaving, but has behaved in the past. And it's one thing for me to say, oh, watch this. It's one thing for me to say, look at the way it's doing it. And it's another thing, me telling you beforehand what's going to happen. So when it does play out, you can't tell me I was lucky. You can't tell me it was a coincidence. It doesn't work that way, which is why I'm always telling you guys to go back and fact check me, because I give out these call outs way ahead of time. I tell you how these market structures are going to play out way ahead of time, what it's going to look like, how it's going to consolidate, how it's going to confirm, how it's going to invalidate way ahead of time. So there is no coincidence. It's called hard work. It's called putting in the time, watching the way this language, the way I interpret this language. This is a language. This is a language of fear and greed, and it repeats itself. It's no different than a person when unfortunately they go blind and they have to learn how to read Braille. It's a new language. Well, this is a language that I speak every single day, 7 days a week. I watch the 5-minute time frame, and I see the behavior. I see the way this may seem like gibberish to you. It isn't to me. I know what it's telling me. I know how much risk I'm going to increase when I drop below here, raise my leverage because it warrants it, because there's a high probability, because there's a great invalidation with a low probability that I'm going to lose a significant amount of money. So I'm able to increase and decrease leverage and risk depending on what the market is how it's speaking to me. So I hope that was clear. I hope that you do fact check me. I do hope that you go back to the beginning of the month or the middle of the month, listen to my videos so you can watch it play out. Watch what I say. Pay attention to what I say, and then look at the indicators that I use, and then look at the way I call out the behavior, and then watch it play out. This is the only way you're going to learn, guys. You're not going to learn by listening to a video once and then waiting for the next video the next day. You want to go back. You want to go back and see what made him call that, because I explain this stuff in very great detail on why it's happening, what I'm looking for, and what's the next move depending on where it invalidates. So you can say that it was a very broad, not broad, but I forgot the terminology that I want to use. That it's not very specific, basically. I forgot the word, but basically meaning that it's not very specific. I'm very, very specific to how things are going to play out. So I hopefully, guys, you are paying attention. Hopefully, you will have the courage to step in front of risk if this uptrend invalidates, and you're able to maximize those profits, and you're able to understand where that invalidation is going to happen, and if it invalidates, where to get out. If it doesn't, if you don't know that, you may want to pay $25 a month and follow me. Because not only can you follow my calls, but to my members, I have a copy trade system. So they just fund the account. Wherever I buy, wherever I sell, it automatically opens up your orders and closes your orders whenever I do. So that's a very convenient way for you to make passive income without having to worry about nothing. You don't have to learn TA. You don't even have to open up the chart. You just have to trust that I know what I'm talking about. And the only way you're going to do that is if you go back a month, 2 months, 3 months, and listen to my videos and check each one of them and watch the results. Don't just listen to the video, but literally open a chart, watch the video, and how did it play out? You got to put in the work, guys. This stuff doesn't just going to fall in your lap. All right, guys, so that's it for today. For today, the only thing you have to be concerned is the do or die line. The do or die line. Look how close we're getting. We've already swept the lows with this wick here. We swept the lows. So this was the last, in my opinion, this was the last chance that they had, that the bulls had right here. This is the last chance. This here, if this closes below here, it's game fucking over. All right? Mark my words for it. You can go ahead and you can put that line in your chart, and you can go and you can wait and see, and you can look at the behavior. You can watch this video 3 or 4 days from now and then see how things played out. See how much money you made. And also, you want to watch how it invalidates. Remember, you can close below here, and if it doesn't recover, then you're going down. Can it recover? Yeah, you know how it can recover? If people open a massive amount of short positions, the market makers are forced to go up and grab those. So if there's enough of them, that momentum may shift. But this consolidation below here is what gives me that probability. 40% we're not going to do it. 90% we are going to do it. And when I look at the momentum indicators like the MACD and the RSI, they confirm that it should be even higher, but I'm being generous. I don't want to scare you guys too much. I want to give the benefit of the doubt to the bulls. But my gut says I should say 60% that we're going to go down and only 40% we're going to go. That's what my gut says. But I don't want to use my gut. I want to be a little bit more. I want to give the benefit of the doubt to the bulls because we're in a bull cycle. Well, it may not seem like that, but we are. We're in a bull cycle. So I'm gonna be a little extra generous to the bulls. Just like I was generous. No one can say that I'm a perma bear. I was very generous to the bulls here. And look, the bulls said, nope, you should have stuck to your data because your data is correct. All the Twitter and all the hopium and all the hype boys, they were all fucking wrong. I was 100% right. But hey, at least I gave the benefit to the bulls. Nobody can call me a perma bear. And now you're going to listen to me. Now you're not going to make your smart ass comments when I'm telling you we're going down to 51,500. And when we start validating that move, nobody can say, oh, BC, you got to let it go. You got to let it go. No, motherfucker. I don't let it go because my data has been 100% correct. So I'm not going to fucking let it go. And I'm not talking about every single trade that I make, it's 100% correct. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that the data on this channel has been 100% correct. On this channel. Now, when we hit 51,500, look, we're going to fall below this channel, way below this channel. So does it mean that when we hit that, we're going to go to all-time highs? Absolutely not. Now, when we do hit that, the bulls now have to prove that the $40,000 targets that Twitter was talking about here, and they talk about here, and they talk about here, that they're not going to come true. And the only way they're not going to come true if the bulls prove it to them. If the bull proves it to us that it is going to go higher, then it's going to put the work and it's going to start that whole climb all over again. Every single move, the bulls have to put in that, they have to redo all the work that they lost. All the work that they lost. So it isn't me. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't have a crystal ball. I keep on telling you guys that. The only reason I am as accurate as I am is because I like to shut off the noise and I just allow the charts to repeat the same fucking pattern. The same pattern. I mean, same pattern. Same pattern. The only thing that changes is your emotions. Your emotions, here we're going to 80, 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 but every single time it dumps. Every single time without fail. And guess what? If we do come down here, because I don't know, again, we're above the do or die line, so it's not dead yet. It's not dead yet. So if we do come down and hit my target, and we start climbing up, it is I really do hope that it's a no fucking brainer for you that you're going to short this. I hope that you're not that stupid after watching all this data, that your dumbass still going to do the same thing and believe it's going to go to 80 when it hits here. I really hope that you're not that stupid. Unfortunately, 95% of you guys are that stupid. So you will think the same exact thing. You're probably saying right now, oh, no, not this time, BC. You watch. As a matter of fact, what I would recommend you do is you put an alert. Put an alert about 65. If we come down here with the angle and the time frame, you figure by the time we come back here, we're going to be right about 64 to 65,000. So do this just to make it conservative. At 63,500, so we're around this area here, I want you to just put an alert, right-click it, hit Add Alert, and put in Watch BC's Market Update video from October 3rd. And he is calling for 95% of people on Twitter are going to say we're going to go higher. Just do that. So you could see now when you're saying no, how true that's going to be. How many times have I asked you to put an alert and the shit plays out exactly? And again, it's not that I have a crystal ball. Is that I recognize the tweets, and the best thing to do is take screenshots. If you take screenshot of those posts, or you go back to your timeline and you take screenshots, it makes it easier to remember because it's the exact same pattern. It's the exact, so nothing is going to change when we come back up here again. If we hit the do or die line and we come down here, nothing will change. It'll be the exact same copy and paste tweets that you saw here, 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 and here are going to be right in here. And I hope that you actually do follow through and put those alerts down so you can see for yourself how easy this market is to read. And when you start wondering, well, why can I read it that way? Because you're allowing the social media to influence your thoughts. You don't have your own thoughts. You only think what the masses think. And that's why we have the exact same exact response. Nothing ever changes because people cannot change. People don't change. Stupid people will always be stupid. Always. Poor people will always be poor. Rich people will always be rich. And I'm talking about the general, not the one or two that may make it. No, I'm talking about the generality of it. Most poor people will stay fucking poor for the same exact reason, the same mentality. And the 1% will continue to be the 1% because they think completely different than the stupid poor people. And that doesn't change. All right, guys? So pay attention. Pay attention because we're already hitting that line again. And again, today or tomorrow, we should be breaking that. Pay attention to it. And hopefully you'll act on it. Have a good one, guys.